We helped our client Bill scale his IT hardware SaaS business from $1.5 million to over $2 million in just 6 months just by using cold email. And the best part about it is that we had predicted everything from the very beginning. And in this interview, I'm going to be showing you exactly how we took Bill from worrying about where his next customer might come from to having over 12 newly signed clients, a steady flow of high quality leads every single week, and the role that BuzzLead played in this entire process of Bill scaling his business. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the interview.
Hey there, this is Trey from BuzzLead. We're a B2B lead generation agency on a performance basis, so we help you book meetings with your ideal clients every single month. I am joined here today by my partner, Nick Constantinides, and by one of our best clients, Bill Kelly. Bill Kelly runs ISP Fix and has had a ton of success with BuzzLead. So in our conversation today, I want to learn a little bit more as to what went extremely well in that partnership, and then what's been the outcome of engaging with our services. Bill, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Good morning, guys.
Morning. So just to get us started off here, would you mind just telling us a little bit more about like what you do and what services you provide?
Yeah, absolutely. We have kind of a unique value proposition. We distribute a piece of software to the IT hardware channel that helps them manage assets and the associated maintenance details. So it's a rather unique offering that fills a kind of a specific niche, but makes a lot of money for our partners.
That's what we like to hear. Yeah, I know you've been able to generate a lot of margins for customers, and we've had a ton of success in selling that outcome as well.
Yeah, and just jumping in here, so Bill, how much revenue or expected revenue, have you generated so far or expect to generate from some of the leads that we've scheduled for you, here with BuzzLead?
Yeah, so we just got out of the gates a few months ago, right? So ours is kind of a long-term sale. The good news is once we get a client, we never lose them. But the revenue kind of, it depends on the VAR. Sometimes it's immediate, but normally it takes a few months to get the VAR and their respective sales folks on board and then start really running with the value prop. So over the long term, we're going to make a ton of money with your services. It just depends on the VAR and how quickly they,
And of those new clients have you signed, how many would you say were a result of meetings that we set for you?
Oh, good Lord, guys, you could probably tell me, but I'd say a couple dozen at least, which is quite impressive given the short amount of time that we've been working together.
You signed a couple dozen clients from working with BuzzLead?
Yep.
That's incredible. Thinking about like your business like a little bit before working with BuzzLead, what were some of the main challenges that you faced before working with us that were impacting your growth?
Yeah, well, it's always the same thing. What we do is so unique, and we've been using telemarketing firms for a lot of years, and I think I shared with you guys that we had a horse that we rode for, good Lord, a dozen years.
Yeah.
And they did a really good job, but they retired their services, which led us to go out and find you guys. But it's always a struggle in the beginning, just understanding what we do and how to present it. And then obviously it's all about going after the data and finding the right decision makers, which you guys have been successful at.
Yeah, I got to give a lot of credit to Nick. I know that data was hard to find. He employed some unique strategies in his in our data scraping techniques. I guess, Nick, can you talk briefly around like what you did there to find some of that unique data for Bill's target population?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the data I knew was going to be a little bit of a challenge early on just because it is so niche down and you can't really just rely on a simple database and build a lead list from scratch. You've got to be a little bit more specific with the approach. So in terms of like data, Bill, I think you remember I had a lot of questions early on. I was just trying to figure out where the heck to find these value-added resellers, but used a couple of different tools and just was able to identify like very niche down groups on LinkedIn. For example, there's a group of value-added resellers and distributors, and that was just like everybody that's a spot on, target persona that Bill would be going after. So that was one market that we were able to use. And then we also have a really powerful tool called Ocean.io that uses AI to actually, scrape lookalikes of Bill's best customers. So for example, he works with a couple of really big name clients out there, and feeding this tool Ocean.io, I'm able to essentially just find a lot of very much lookalikes of those people, scrape information from their websites, and it's just data that you can't find across other platforms. So once we were able to crack that code and find the right decision makers, then we were able to really pick up the volume and land him some good opportunities and now new clients.
Agreed. And Bill, I know you mentioned you were riding that same horse for a while there that had taken your business to a really significant revenue growth rate and where you guys are operating at now. I guess and then that horse, unfortunately fell out of the race. Like, how did BuzzLead come in and help address those challenges that you were now facing as you had like a new, gap in your guys' lead generation structure?
I think the folks that we were using before, they were really old school like me. So, I'm not exactly sure how they were doing what they were doing. but I'm pretty sure they weren't doing the things that you're doing. So they weren't doing the stuff that Nick just described. So you're kind of a new generation, a lead generation, if you will, for us, where you're doing the LinkedIn group searches, and you're doing a lot of the stuff that my prior firm did not do, telemarketing firm did not do. But I mean, we were kind of joking about this earlier. I don't really care how you do it. Keep doing what you're doing. So I know what you're doing is a lot more complicated than the prior firm did, but the end result is all good. So
It's definitely a unique target market that exists out there, but I mean, kudos to Nick on finding that data. You got a great offer, which makes it fun to sell because we're just helping people make more money at the end of the day, and it's a win-win with everyone.
fun to sell. You must be more boring than me at parties, but it's not about the money. It's about the money, right? So as long as we can solve a business problem for our clients and bring a little taste home, it's all good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one last question. I don't mean to pry in on this, but just so we can get an idea of like the impact that we've actually had. And I know that number ranges so much by VARs, but in terms of the revenue that BuzzLead is going to help you probably accomplish over the years with these companies, are we talking in the hundreds of thousands or
For sure.
millions?
Yeah. So for instance, Nick, I mean, the clients that we brought on since we started working, we haven't realized $1 yet, but that's par for the course. I mean, there's some stuff we got to go through to get the portal in place and the software working and stuff like that. Then it's a matter of rolling it out to all the sales teams, the respective VARs. So it takes a little bit of time, but as you know, your job is to get us to the right folks so I can present our value prop and bring them on board. And then, like I said, it varies tremendously. But yeah, it could be, depending on the size of them. I don't want to mention any names right now, but a few of these whales could be quite significant, way past the hundreds of thousands for sure over the years.
Nice. Love to hear that. We've done a decent job here, Troy. And last question, just to wrap it up. Would you recommend BuzzLead to any of your colleagues or anybody else out there that's looking for, help generating qualified leads?
Oh, absolutely. I already have, as a matter of fact. You guys know this, so for sure. So use me in any way that I can be helpful there.
Yeah, and we appreciate that. We have had a couple people come our way thanks to you, so we really appreciate it. And we'll try to ramp things up, get you some more clients here, and continue this partnership.
Gentlemen, thanks so much.
Right.
All right, I hope you guys found this video valuable, and if you want to get results just like Bill with a completely done-for-you offer, then feel free to book a call, and we'll see if we can help out. And that's all for now, guys. I will see you in the next video.